Hey viewers, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to do something a little different. We're going to dive into a topic that's sparking huge debate in the cycling world today. Tubeless tires versus inner tube. Are tubeless tires really worth the hype? Are riders starting to change their minds about them? I was thinking about changing to tubeless myself, but after witnessing some messy experiences, talking to other cyclists, and seeing some massive blowouts in the Pro Tour, I'm kind of having second thoughts. You're going to want to stick around till the end here because we're going to explore when inner tubes might actually be a better choice for you. We'll cover everything from ease of use and maintenance to puncture resistance and real-world riding scenarios. And don't forget to subscribe and like and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on more cycling content that's coming up. We're just finishing up on our latest restoration project, an 80s Lotus competition. You won't want to miss that one. For those of you who are new to the tubeless game, these tires ditch the inner tube. The wheels are also built differently to where the rim is actually sealed. And the area where the tire meets the rim is also constructed a little differently to make the whole setup as airtight as possible. Also, since the traditional valve will be attached into the inner tube, in a tubeless system, it's now an individual component. But before you seal the tire all the way around the rim, you have to pour some sealant inside the tire. This sealant fills any small punctures you might get as you're riding, and most of the time you don't even know it's happening. Mountain bikes have been using tubeless tires since about 1999. Tubeless tires weren't practical for road bikes back then because the tires were still pretty narrow, and the narrower the tire, the higher the pressure inside. This higher pressure wouldn't give the sealant enough time to plug the puncture. The big advantages for the wider tires now is not only that we can use the sealant, but they also provide a comfier ride and fewer pinch flats. And tests have shown that there's a lower rolling resistance. So we can be real, tubeless isn't all sunshine and rainbows. Installation can be a huge pain. Some tire rim combos are super tight, so you're going to need some pretty strong tire levers. Of course, then there's the sealant. It's messy, it dries out, sometimes it just doesn't seal well, or at all. But keep this in mind, the lower the tire pressure, the quicker the sealant will work. So tubeless tires work best with wider, lower pressure tires like mountain bike tires. Tubeless tires will also work well with the wider road and gravel bike tires. However, if you ride on tires that are narrow, for instance 23s or 24 wide tires, you will most likely want to stay with the inner tubes. And even though tubeless tires are more puncture resistant, you obviously can still get punctures if you ride over something sharp. And for larger punctures, you might need to plug the hole to stop all the sealant from spraying out. So with some of these potential headaches, when do inner tubes actually make more sense? Well, let's take a look. Here are some of the situations why inner tubes are probably making a comeback. Point number one is if you're a beginning cyclist. If you're just starting out, inner tubes are the way to go. They're cheap, easy to install, and it's a good way to learn roadside repair skills. Point number two, some people just like simple tech. They like to stick with what they know and love. Point number three, for commuting, you want reliability and minimal fuss. A bomb-proof tire with a real thick inner tube is the perfect setup. And with that type of setup, you usually don't incur smaller punctures. Point number four, if you take your bike on a plane, it's very important to remember to deflate your tires. And even though this is important to do with inner tube tires as well, if the pressure blows a tire off the rim, you're going to have sealant spray all over the place with those tubeless tires. And point number five, if you do any endurance or multi-day rides, inner tubes are easier to repair and maintain on the road, and less messy. Another good reason to use inner tubes is that the butyl and TPU inner tubes hold air pressure better than tubeless setups. So it's not all doom and gloom for the tubeless tires. Let's take a look at the advantages and some reasons why you might want to use them. If you're serious about speed and performance, tubeless can give you an edge. Tests have shown that the lower pressures can produce better grip and rolling resistance. And for smaller punctures, sealant works like magic. It seals a hole instantly and you might not even notice it. especially if the puncture is on the rear tire. And then you have ride quality. Tubeless tires normally offer a smoother, more comfortable ride. This is especially noticeable on rough roads and gravel riding. A lot of people I ride with use the Continental GP 5000s. They say they're easy to set up, and everyone loves the ride quality. If you want to learn more about those tires, I have a link in the description below. Alright, so let's say you do get a puncture that the sealant can't handle. Here's how to fix it quickly with a plug kit. Okay, step 1, if whatever caused the puncture is still there, just pull it out. Step 2, your kit should have a reaming tool. You push the tool in and out of the hole to rough up the edges around the hole. This helps keep the plug in place. Now step 3, you find the tool that has the slit in the end of it, kind of like a sewing needle. You then insert the plug itself into the slit so that the plug is halfway in the tool. Step 4, push the plug into the hole so that about 1/3 to 1/2 of the plug is left sticking out of the tire. Then slightly twist the tool and pull it out quickly. And then step 5, the last step, if the tire is a mountain bike or gravel bike tire, you can usually leave the excess plug sticking out of the tire. But if you have a road tire, you might want to cut some of the excess plug down a bit, since you will definitely feel the bump in the tire when riding. However, you will still want to leave a small amount sticking out of that tire and make sure it seals. Then the more you ride on it, whatever's sticking out will eventually flatten out. Another important detail to look at is the tire you choose. If you have a brand that you like and have been using for a while, go ahead and stick with it, whatever works best for you. If you're just starting out with tubeless tires, go ahead and check around with other people you ride with, see what they're riding, talk to them about it, see what they like and dislike about the tires they're using. And if you're still not sure, here's a few we can recommend. These tires are pretty popular and they have really good ratings. The first two we can recommend for road tires are the Continental GP 5000s and the Schwalbe Pro 1s. I've never ridden on the Schwalbe Pro 1s, but I've ridden on Continental tires for many years. I can probably count on one hand how many flats I've gotten in the last 15 years of riding on Continentals. Now for gravel tires, we can recommend the Vittoria Torinos. A lot of people appreciate the cycling tires for their good grip, comfort, and durability. They find the tire rolls pretty smoothly on pavement and dirt alike. They provide good traction and grip over rough terrain and even protection from rocks. If gravel riding is your thing, you might want to check these out. Now for mountain bike tires, I highly recommend the Maxxis Minion DHFs. I have a couple buddies who are mainly into mountain bike riding and they use these tires and just love them. If you'd like to find out more information about any of these tires, just check out our links in the description below. So what's the verdict here? Tubeless vs inner tubes? Well, as you can see in the video here, there's no single right answer. It all depends on your riding style, your priorities, and some say your tolerance for mess, but you know, the more experience you get using them, and if you take your time and do it carefully, tubeless tires don't have to be that messy. So hey everyone, what's your experience? Let us know. Do you swear by tubeless, or are you a loyal inner tube user? Let us know the good and the bad experiences you've had, and why you prefer one over the other. Well, thanks for watching everyone. Give this video a thumbs up if you found it helpful, and subscribe for more cycling tips. We have some how-to videos and some of our restoration bikes. And you're going to want to hit that notification bell because we've got that real nice restoration project coming up, the 80s Lotus competition. See y'all later.